Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So over here today we have Yi Ling from Baby Planner, and we are going to talk about something really interesting, which is wearable pumps. So if you're new here over to my channel, welcome. But if you know, we talk all about entrepreneur life and we share about really my whole lifestyle. But today is a very interesting topic because Yi Ling here is also our baby planner. So if you see Noel, our little baby boy, I'm going to put a picture of him over here. Yi Ling has been helping us with Noel and especially with the lactation part of it as well as making sure that the room is properly set up and stuff like that. So thank you. And today, most importantly, we're actually going to talk about wearable pumps and the differences between two brands, Phanpy and Baby Express. So I have to say first that Baby Express did sponsor the pumps for today, so thank you Baby Express. But Phanpy I bought with my own money. I'm very excited to also hear what Yi Ling has to say about the pumps because I've tried both pumps. The Phanpy one I've tried for a longer time, Baby Express for about, I would say, a week. And I do have my own views on it, and I'm going to show you that in a bit. Before we go there, I'm going to ask Yi Ling, do you want to share with us about what you do at Baby Planner and what Baby Planner is about?
Sure, thanks very much. So Baby Planner is actually a new concept introduced in Singapore that is very similar to the concept of a wedding planner, right? Everyone, who gets married can plan their own wedding, but it's always quite helpful to have someone who's actually very familiar with the possible wedding venues in Singapore, the possible vendors that can help you with certain themes or looks that you're looking out for, maybe even certain feelings and ideas of how to do things slightly differently if you want a certain feel that your guests are going to enjoy. So basically that's what Baby Planner does for parents who are expecting newborns, because your life changes with every baby you have, especially if it's going to be your first one, but even with your second one and third one as well. So as Sandra has found out for herself right now, her life has turned upside down, and so having someone to actually handhold you, that's what we do at Baby Planner.
Yi Ling is a mother of 3. Okay, and we have one little Noel right now. So yes, we are talking about real life experience here, and this is not just something that we come off fluff in the air, but yes, this is true personal experience, and I'm just so glad that Yi Ling has been helping us since the time that I was pregnant all the way until now.
So we offer prenatal support to help you kind of mentally prepare, physically prepare your house, your room, everything, go through the stuff you're going to buy so that you don't, end up investing in all these things that you're never going to use and just have white elephants. So we actually go through that with you and tell you that you don't need many things, but ensure that each thing you get is right. So that's a pre-part, and then post, we actually offer these support that, like Sandra was saying, whether it is breastfeeding, whether it's with routines, your baby isn't sleeping, isn't eating, all these happen to everybody.
And things things like colic as well is another thing that a lot of parents go through. But more importantly, like if you're looking for a confinement nanny, but perhaps having a confinement nanny to stay with you for that first month may not be as convenient, you can actually look for Yi Ling for their postnatal care day services. Yeah, so that would be very important. The thing is, I think during the first month, I think for me I went through a C-sec, and because I went through a C-section, I think the recovery was a lot harder. So having that kind of help definitely makes a lot of sense.
So the idea, I think, of confinement is actually one where they want mommy to recover. So the confinement nannies tend to really help you take over looking after your baby. And then usually what ends up happening is that after the month, then the confinement nanny leaves, parents are stuck. Like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do, right? I didn't even realize that, confinement nanny were doing all these things, and now I have to just figure it out. So I think the service of having someone as a stay out person to give you the confidence, offer you some hours of support, answer all the questions that you have with practical hands-on, trying it out with you and correcting sort of certain techniques is the way to make it sustainable.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. Shall we jump in to the pumps? All right. Ta-da! We have both of the pumps over here. So right here, you can see 2 different brands. We have the Phanpy wearable pump as well as the Baby Express wearable pump. okay, I have to say first, even though the Baby Express did sponsor them, I'm gonna give a very, very honest review because I think that's gonna be very helpful to moms who are trying to look for wearable pumps. And I think just to bear in mind, like, because we are both working moms, so having a wearable pump to me is actually quite essential because, you know, I can't be in the dance studio and my sewing studio and my filming studio just walking around with pumps and the tubes dangling everywhere. It's kind of hard. I tried, but it's really, really hard. So it's a lot easier to have a wearable pump, just like put them in and then just walk around. And you know, sometimes my clients still think it's a little bit weird, but I feel like it's also my responsibility to normalize it and be like, hey, pumping is a very natural thing, so don't give me those weird looks because I do walk around with the wearable pumps. Whether I'm walking, you know, to the car, to the mall, to home, I'm still wearing those pumps because I want to make sure that, as Yi Ling has told me, to pump on time. So I don't want to miss that. So wearable pumps, definitely a lot helpful because tube pumps, I feel like I have to sit down more, even though I can still move around, but it's definitely not as convenient as a wearable pump.
So that's a personal preference, a very real one. If you wanted my opinion on pumps, to me the most important thing about pumps is how you feel they respond to you, because every woman has different breasts and every different pump is kind of it just extracts milk out of you in a different way. So to me, the most important thing is that the pump works for you.
If you're looking more in-depth into the kind of pump that you want to go for, go check out our other video over here. We're going to link it down in the description below. Go check out that video where we go in-depth into many different types of pumps. So I'm going to talk very quickly about the different features for each of the different pumps so that you actually understand the differences a little bit more in-depth. Alright? So because I've worn both and both of them I'm actually really comfortable with, I'm just going to dive into it and then, you know, Yi Ling will come in with her professional opinions on it. Okay? We have not talked about this beforehand, yeah? So this is a very real thing I'm going to learn as well. Okay? Alright, so of course, overall here, we talk about the difference in terms of the looks, and I think that is actually makes a lot of difference. As you can see, the Phanpy pump, it has two different colors. One is the green one is the orangey looking one. And if you could see, you know, the collection cups over here, this piece here, the flange is actually nude, which is kind of nice. And
it's
also
plastic, right? It's made of hard plastic.
So this one is plastic, but it actually comes with the silicone flange as well. So it has two. It comes with two, plastic and silicone flanges, so which is nice. So you can interchange that. So to me, I actually preferred the plastic one compared to the silicone one. I think because of when I'm fitting it in with the curvature of the flange, I feel like it's a lot easier to fit. In terms of the color, I would say the main difference as compared to the Baby Express ones is that the Baby Express ones are really clear. It's like completely clear, which I actually do like, okay, and I'm gonna explain why. So one thing is when I actually have these ones, what happened is that
you can't see.
Yes, I can't see because of the nude color over here, whereas the Baby Express one, because it's totally clear, I can totally see. But that also means that when you're walking around, this is a lot more visible in terms of people being able to see your nipples as compared to this one over here. So for me, because the thing is, I don't mind people seeing the palms. So if I'm wearing a little bit lower cut than this one, yes, like you can, if you really stare, you can actually see. But no one really going to stare until like that.
No one is going to stare at you if you're pumping.
Yeah,
it's so awkward. They're going to look away.
Yeah. So as compared to this one, is actually a lot more. How do I say? A lot more coverage. Yeah. But the downside for this is that because you can't see, when I try and fit it in and I try to make sure it's in the center, I cannot really see. Yeah. Whereas for this one, because it's totally clear, I can actually see whether it's centered and it's easier to adjust from there. But that being said, the Baby Express one only comes with a silicone flange. It doesn't come with a plastic
Option,
one over here. Yeah. ASMR. It's like a drum. Yeah. But in terms of the flanges, these ones come in 24mm and 28mm, whereas the Baby Express one comes in 24mm and 27mm. So the thing is, I know that for me, the 27mm actually works better than the 24mm. Somehow I'm able to get more milk out of the 27mm compared to 24mm, even though both fits. That's the thing, because the 28mm is actually a little bit too
Loose,
big.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit too big, so 27mm actually fits better. If you're a smaller nipple diameter, they do have like flange inserts
yeah.
that you can actually put in for both. And you know what? I think Phanpy doesn't have those inserts.
I don't think they have it.
Yeah, Phanpy doesn't have those inserts. Only the Baby Express one has it, right?
And Baby Express goes all the way down to 15, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, 15.
17 definitely.
Yeah.
19, 21.
Yeah, so that's a good thing about the Baby Express one. So clear or covered, you know. But I think one other thing that I'm going to talk about is also the ease of putting back these flanges.
Yeah, so just to be clear, right? The same number of parts, right? You have the
Same
flange,
number of parts.
You have the sorry, I'm going to just open it.
Okay, I'm going to open this. This one has a nice it has a nice holder here.
Makes it easier to
Yeah,
open.
makes it easier to open because I just kind of put my thumb here to open it. So yeah, that's nice.
So 4 parts. 1, the duck bill valve, which
Same.
this one has. 2 here. Then there's 3. Sorry, yeah. So this is usually the membrane that both have as well. And then of course the cup.
Yeah, but I have to say, you know, because I washed them myself, so every part here for the Phanpy is actually easier to fit in than as compared to the Baby Express, because okay, like for instance, the duck bills. So the thing is, the Phanpy one has these little tabs over here on the side. So it's easier to actually rip them off, pull them off
Without damaging
it and put them back. As compared to the Baby Express one, it's actually really tight. So you have to really put it in.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the main thing. But the Phanpy one actually is a lot easier for me in terms of taking it apart and putting back in. But I also have to say something. In terms of pouring the milk, somehow the Baby Express one pours milk a lot better than the Phanpy one. Like when I pour milk out of the cups, a lot of milk is still stuck inside here and it's still stuck in the membrane. So I actually have to remove the membrane and pour out milk because milk is stuck inside here. Whereas the Baby Express one, I don't have that much of a problem. It actually pours out really nicely and really clean. But I think it's because the pouring hole, right, is actually a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So more air can go in, so it's easier to pour. Whereas the Phanpy one, because it's more rectangular like that, so when you pour, I have to tock the thing before it comes out, but it's still a lot stuck inside here.
It's actually also the material of the plastic.
Yes. I was about to say that too, which is that when it comes to cleaning, the Baby Express one wins for me.
Yeah.
Because the Baby Express, this hole here, right? This hole here, this hole inside here is bigger as compared to the Phanpy one. So when I wash with the sponge, it's a lot easier to go inside this one to wash as compared to this one.
You probably need a bottle brush for that. The teeth brush.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, you know, I want to wash fast, right? Because a lot of things to do. So I think, to me, Baby Express, 1 point for you. Very good. Next, we're going to talk about the motors as well. So as you can see, this is the Phanpy, this is the Baby Express one. Okay, I have to say that I love both colors. It's like you match this color.
Yeah. Actually,
Now.
these are the Baby Planner colors.
These are Baby Planner colors. Hey. Very good. So yeah, I think in terms of the size, it's actually not too bad lah.
Yeah, similar,
right?
very similar.
But I have to say, so when I received the Baby Express ones, I realized, oh my god, these are light as compared to the Phanpy one, right? So in terms of the weight of it, you know, it's definitely a difference, and I actually feel it because the thing is, I'm just putting it in my bra, right? I'm just holding it there. I'm not holding it, I mean the bra is holding it. So I actually feel the difference in that the Baby Express one is actually lighter than the Phanpy one. So that's a very good thing. But there's a caveat to that, which is that the Baby Express one, when you actually fit it in, okay, I'm going to show you. When you actually fit it in this way, right? Oops. It's actually very easy to come off. Which is a problem for me when I try and fit it in as compared to the Phanpy one, because it is a slider. This is little slider here, so you actually kind of just slide it in this way, so it actually does not come off as easily as compared to the Baby Express one. So I gotta give 1 point to Phanpy for this, because you know when you're putting in and out, in and out, in and out, sometimes need to adjust, huh? It's a lot easier because this one pops out very easily for me. And then sometimes, you know, very tall, got one
But especially if the whole point is for it to be wearable, you are going to be moving with it, and it does feel like it's going to drop off pretty easily.
Yeah. So, but if your bra is tight enough and then you just hold everything in, or if you just like put inside your jacket and just zip up, right? Actually, it's okay. Yeah, got no problem with it. Yeah. So in terms of the functions of the motor, I think they're both pretty much the same. So there is a stimulation and expression mode. And then the thing is, there is also like 5 different levels on each. So each one of them have got 5 different levels where you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Depends on how strong a suction you want to go. But I have to say, in terms of the suction strength, Baby Express wins hands down.
So is it too painful for the lowest mode, say?
Is it too painful? No. Both parts are very comfortable. But in terms of the suction strength, Baby Express wins hands down. I would say though, in terms of the memory, both has the memory function. Meaning that it remembers the last setting that you used for both. The only thing is the Phanpy one, it automatically changes from stimulation to expression, whereas the Baby Express one does not. You have to own self press the buttons while you're pumping to actually toggle it between stimulation and expression.
And neither of these have an app, right?
Don't have.
Yeah. Okay, so there are other wearable pumps like LV that do have the app as well, so that, you know, discreetly if you're pumping during like a meeting, you need to change the setting, you can use your phone to do that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So instead of then, you know, you're digging yourself like not
Right,
very vulgar.
right.
Yeah, so you can discreetly do that in the office if you need to.
But I guess that's why the Phanpy one has the automatic toggle, so it makes sense.
So I mean, automatic functions usually are a double-edged sword in that, yes, it's great if the automatic is set at an appropriate time for you, but if it's actually an inappropriate time and it always automatically changes at 2 minutes when you prefer it to change at either 1 minute or 4 minutes, then it's quite a useless function as well.
Unless you own self change back again.
So then it becomes same as manual.
That's a good point. Before this, you were also saying something about some people don't use stimulation, some people just go straight to expression, some people go to use stimulation only, don't use expression. So how do you...
Yeah, so the point is actually this stimulation mode and expression mode, they are good options that certain pumps provide you. And therefore, some pumps have memory functions to the extent they remember your entire pump cycle. For example, you prefer like a 3-minute stimulation before you go into expression. And then so it remembers that. Some people, you know, don't even find the stimulation useful, so they either have like almost 0 seconds of stimulation or even 1 minute of stimulation, and then they just move on. So that kind of functionality to remember that, or even the kind of functionality that kind of allows you to just start without, works as well.
Okay, question. Now I must ask my 老师, my teacher, a question, which is, how in the world do you decide how long stimulation before go expression, or go to expression without stimulation, or just stimulation without expression? Actually, I've never asked Yi Ling this. I own self thought that you must stimulate before you express. Because that was, my first pump was the Medela Freestyle. So Medela Freestyle also has that same function.
And it's also 2 minutes.
Yeah, it auto change over after 2 minutes. Yeah, so I assume you need lah. But actually I never asked before. So why? How?
How? Okay, so like all these stimulation modes and pump, like expression modes, they are, you know, try it on your pump, you will know that it's basically a difference in the frequency, right, or the length of time it is a suck and a release. So different breaths respond differently to that kind of thing. So usually stimulation mode is a quick succession or one, and then usually the expression mode tends to be a long something like that. So some people feel that you know, when they let down, it's very fast and they can basically start expressing and mimicking what their baby's suck would be, which usually would be deep swallows. So that's why most expression modes is like this suck, suck, because that mimics the baby's sucking. Whereas expression mode actually is a little bit more of a simulation of the massage kind of thing, that you're kind of just trying to loosen up everything. So that's why it's a quick session. So if you, for example, do a lot of manual massaging before you start, then usually you can even skip the stimulation mode. But it's up to personal preference.
Oh, wait. Okay, I have to say the stimulation mode between both the Phanpy and the Baby Express is actually different. So the Phanpy stimulation mode is like what you say, it's like like vibration like that lah.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Vibration.
Yes.
It's like really just like
It's like it's panting, yeah. Panting.
Whereas the Baby Express one is a little bit similar to the Baby Buddha one, where you'll go Yeah, so it's a little bit more similar to the Baby Buddha one. Now, bear in mind that because my breasts have come across almost 10 pumps, which is madness. So the thing is, don't do what I did, okay? You don't need to try so many pumps on your breasts. So here from Yi Ling, okay? You just need to find the right pump, okay? But Yi Ling will delve more into that perhaps another time, because there's another story to be told. But yes, the stimulation mode is actually quite different. But I think the expression mode,
it's all the same.
It's the same.
It's the same.
Just that suction strength stronger.
Yeah. So the reason why expression mode is the same, because generally when babies get into a deep latch, that is their mode, right? They swallow, they suck, they swallow, they suck, they swallow, they suck. That's why all the expression modes expression modes are the same. Whereas for stimulation, it's really kind of like warming your breast up. So it's every brand's guess how best to warm your breast up, and I would say it's every woman's response to various types of warm up.
If you go straight into expression mode, and so long as your milk come out, right, your first drop come out, right, okay already.
Yeah, so the thing is that some women find that the expression mode really helps to let down. And so when the letdown comes, they move into expression mode. So in fact, for a lot of women, they don't like fixed expression mode timings, because when they feel the letdown, they will do it. But there are also
stimulation or expression?
No, so from stimulation, they feel a letdown, let's say 30 seconds in or even 2 minutes in, and then they switch modes. So that's kind of how some women do it, like in the sense that they can feel the letdown coming and then they switch modes.
Okay, I have to say, I cannot feel anything.
This is also very common. Can't feel anything. So not much difference whichever mode you're using, if you can't feel the difference. Yeah.
So that's why, to me, because I cannot feel, this one wins for me, because I can see all the milk come out already.
Exactly.
This one, I really cannot see it. So you know what I do? I rock my body to see the milk.
Which is not the best thing to do when you're pumping.
I cannot see, because this is not, it's clear, but it's not very clear, the plastic.
Yeah, it's
actually, this is clear, more clear lah.
This does not make sense to me. Like,
which one?
This color thing.
Oh.
Yeah, from my point of view, this is functional. While the pretty colors are to be attractive, the more important thing is function. So if it doesn't allow you to see what you're doing, I don't like it. But that said, if the function is for coverage, because you tend to really kind of like expose yourself, and so it's for modesty, then okay, fine, it's functional too. It's just that it's not functional if you do not know when your letdowns come. You are relying on seeing, then that doesn't work.
Right.
And in fact, for me, I would go as far as to say, for some women, it also matters to see when it's full, right? And you can't see with that. You cannot actually feel when you know, because it's heavy anyway, so you can't feel when it's full as well. If you need to actually take a break or change, or if you're pumping to a certain volume, you can't see with that. One of the issues with wearable pumps is that it has a fixed capacity, usually much less capacity than bottles. So
this is 150 ml.
So this is 180. Right? So if you're nearing the 150 mark, you kind of want to know, you need to like consider whether you want to change or stop. But if you can't tell the difference because you can't see it, then that doesn't help you.
Okay, but that being said, that's because Yi Ling here can pump so much milk. It is ridiculous. Okay, what's the max you pump?
About 600.
Did you hear that? Did you just hear that? She pumped both sides one time 600. For moms who are like me, okay, we are the more humble ones. The max, the max that I have pumped is 120, but the usual that I pump right now with Yi Ling's guidance, I would say is anywhere from maybe 60 to 120 per pump, both boobs. So you see the difference here. Mummy of 3, but I think the number of children doesn't really matter lah.
No. And in fact, that time when I was producing that much was my second child, and I accidentally really went overboard with the oversupply. So the oversupply was intentional, but it went a bit overboard.
600 ml. Oh my gosh, I cannot imagine.
Yeah, so it's kind of like storing that and walking it around.
So you have two different perspectives here. Okay, I'm the more humble one. Yi Ling is the oversupply, 600 ml.
Still humbly oversupplying.
By the way, if you found this video useful so far, don't forget to like and subscribe, and drop down in the comments below if you have any questions at all.
We'll be happy to answer them.
Yes, especially Yi Ling. I will let Yi Ling do most of the answering because more professional advice. Okay, but yes, we'll make sure that we'll definitely be here to help you with your motherhood journey. So one more thing I want to talk about would then be battery life. So battery life is actually the same. On full charge, it can go for 90 minutes. Auto shut off at 20 minutes.
Both.
Okay. Both auto shut off at 20 minutes. But because right now I pump at 30 minutes, so I usually have to time the extra 10 minutes myself on my Apple Watch. So to do that. So I think battery life, kind of the same. But another thing now as a wearable pump would be noise level. So I also got a shock because when I first tried the Baby Express pumps, I realized that the noise level is actually a lot lower as compared to the Phanpy one. Shall we try?
Yeah, sure.
So this is the Phanpy one over here. I'm going to turn it on.
That's pretty loud.
Oh, is it? Okay, I'm going to go to the expression mode. And I'm going to increase to the max.
Pretty loud if you're going to be wearing that and in a discussion with your colleagues. It will be distracting.
Yeah, this is one. So when you got two, it's even louder.
Yeah.
So this is the sound of it at the full strength. Okay, let's try the
5, right?
Baby Express.
Okay, so this is expression, right? Oh no, that was expression. Okay, let's increase it. Okay, maximum. What do you think? I would say your colleagues can probably still hear this as well.
Yeah, I would say definitely the Phanpy is a lot louder than the Baby Express one, which is why my preference is definitely Baby Express for this one because it is a lot softer. But in your experience, are other wearable pumps like softer?
I would say, to me, the difference is not that great. Like, yes, it's slightly softer, but yeah, I would say all pumps that claim to be very soft also, if you're having a meeting with someone, they would definitely be hearing it. Yeah, if you're watching a movie in the theater, they will definitely be hearing it. So I would say it's not the biggest option, like make or break why you would choose this over that.
Right.
But yeah, it is a plus point. For other wearable pumps, I would say they're probably similar. I do need to compare them side by side.
Right, okay. So I have actually used the Phanpy ones to pump while I was at the hair salon. It was loud, but I don't think it actually really...
So I mean, at a place with music and, where they aren't expecting you to be quiet or concentrating on a particular thing you're saying, then you can definitely be pumping on the go. No problem. Normalize it.
Yeah, normalize it. I think we have to normalize things for us mummies. Alright, so let's talk about price points. So over here, I'm on the legendary website. So the Phanpy breast pump is actually going at $85 for one side. So that's just for one side. It doesn't come as a set. Sing dollars. Yeah, Sing dollars, $85 for one side of a pump. And it comes with two sets of flanges, so that's a nice thing, which is the plastic one as well as the silicone flange.
We have the Baby Express website, and it's for one side as well. It's going for $99.90.
Yeah, so this is the Be Free, Baby Express Be Free Wearable Palm. So it's going for $99.90.
And they have the newest one whereby it's also a wearable palm, just came out. It's called Be Nude, and the Be Nude is coming out. It's priced at $129.90.
Yeah, but it's not shown here, yeah? That one is not shown here. This one is $99.90. This is $85. So, I don't know, what do you think? Price point? I would say not much of a difference, you know. You go to Starbucks, get a latte, it already covers the price
I would say
difference.
actually most wearable palms that are like this with no tubes, they are generally going between this range, you know, 80 to 100 kind of range.
Yeah, so would you recommend everyone get two palms? Because to me, I want two. Because one side of this is 85, so if I want to pump both at one time, I'll get two sets. And this one is $99.90. If you get two palms, then after that you need two sides lah. So basically you're spending about $200. By the way, all these we're talking about Singapore dollars. And if you're anywhere else around the world, you gotta convert it over to US dollars, Canadian dollars, just depending on where you are, yeah? So Singapore dollars, 85. Singapore dollars, $99.90.
I would definitely say if you're going to be spending time pumping, your time is so precious, please pump both sides.
Yeah, please.
There's no reason why you should be doing one side only.
Hear that from Yi Ling, and I completely 1000% agree. Yeah? Pump both sides, save time.
Time is your commodity.
So, coming to the end of it, gonna ask Yi Ling, which one would you pick? And I'm gonna also share which one I would pick. Okay, so Yi Ling, which one would you pick if you had to only choose between Phanpy and Baby Express?
Probably based on everything we've said today, pick Baby Express. Main reasons being support local. Number two being it's practical. It's bigger, by the way. It's 180.
Oh, yes.
So very important for me.
Yes.
And yeah, I feel it's much easier to get this in Singapore because they do have also quite a number of locations that do carry and retail it.
Right, I didn't think about that. Because I guess shopping online is such a
Yeah, I know. But sometimes you need last minute stuff.
Yes, that's true.
Go on a staycation, you forgot one part.
Right. Okay, I didn't think about that, but yes. I think it's always important to get extra accessories lah anyway. Yeah. Okay, so my opinion, like if I had to choose between Baby Express and Phanpy, I would hands down pick Baby Express. My reason is actually really simple. Baby Express gives me more yield as compared to Phanpy. And because it gives me more yield and because it is clear and I can see whether I position it correctly and because the noise level is lower, I hands down would choose Baby Express. So what do you think? Which one would you choose and which one would you pick? I think there is no right and wrong. I think as Yi Ling has mentioned, it just really depends on whether or not it can clear your boobs. That's something that it took me a really long time to understand what it means to actually clear your breast, to make sure that you know you are getting more supply because it's supply and demand and right? So that's also something that you need to consider when choosing a breast pump. Hopefully you found this video very useful in comparing the two different pumps over here. But again, if you have any questions, drop it down in the comments below because we'll definitely be here to answer you. Yi Ling will be here to answer you as well. Yi Ling, any final words for everyone?
Breastfeeding is the most important part of life post-pregnancy. So get it right and you will have a much easier time.
I 1000% agree. And I've struggled a lot, but I'm very thankful that at this point of time, it has been less of a struggle. Not saying it's not struggle, still a lot of things going on. I'm still pumping every 4 hours currently, according to Yi Ling's advice. But I think the most important thing is to make sure that you as a mummy be happy, and I think so long as baby is fed, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
If you need any help, please get help. Ask Yi Ling, okay? Get my baby planner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, so if you found this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. It means so much to me and so much to Yi Ling. Go check them out at Baby Planner. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you found this video very useful in your motherhood journey. And for all of you working moms out there, this is for you. Thank you so much for spending time here with us. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you again. Go check out other video. Bye.